meditation together, hour-long meditation. However, I thought we could try a slightly different format today, and it's really born out of the last time I was here on a Saturday. And for those who were able to stick around, Sean, who's on the call, one of our Awaken the World morning Silence It volunteers and friend, really we contributed a lot of really beautiful insight, his own experience and insight. And I felt that that was a very rich contribution for all of us, for the whole community. And so he's kindly agreed to just be open to kind of co-piloting a little bit the call. And I was thinking as I was waiting for the call to start that I'd like for us all to actually feel invited to do that equally. So what I would propose to do is we'll start with a practice. We'll start with maybe about 30 minutes or so, give or take, of some practice to settle in. And then we can take some time to open it up and share. I'd love to share freely outside of a designated kind of question and answer time, and share, you know, how your practice is going. If you have experiences, insights that you would like to share with the community here, because I really, the more I participate and hear of the wisdom we're sharing and the shared experiences, the frustrations, you know, the doubts, the traps, I really see a lot of value in that. So why don't we just see what happens? And, you know, there's no obligation, of course, that we can all choose to participate in sharing or through our silent support of each other. So without further ado, let's get settled in. Get settled into your posture. If you need to move at any time, of course, feel free to do that, but just maybe take a look to see why you're moving. Is it really necessary? Can you simply observe and allow whatever sensations are arising in the moment without needing to react? But if they're intense, they're very distracting, then feel free to make adjustments. To start, why don't we take a little time for a shamatha style practice, cultivating some calm, some tranquility in the mind body. So you might have a go-to practice for that. It might be your attention on the breath. It might be an invitation for tension or holding to dissolve in the physical body. And you might jump right to abiding as source, as the true self, anatta, And if you're not sure where you should be putting your attention, sometimes a neutral area like the hands or feet, holding your attention, investigating sensation, can be calming. Sometimes focusing on the relaxation that happens with every exhalation can cultivate a more restful, quieter experience of mind and body. And of course, we can't make anything happen. So allowing whatever your experience is in this moment, completely open. So we can think of this step as an attempt to clearing some of the clouds that obscure that pure inner light of awareness. And if in our mind we're experiencing an intense storm, lots of intense activation in the emotional and mental space, that can be challenging. And that's totally okay. Moment to moment, that inner subjective space is different. Just like the waves in the ocean. Sometimes they're ripples, sometimes they're giant waves. We can't control our circumstances, our thoughts, but we can certainly control our relationship to them. So, with a practice like this, we're putting our attention on a particular object, say the breath, sensations that are being generated by the breath, by a focus on relaxing any held tension in the body. But it could be on any object, it could be on sounds in the environment. Because when we narrow our focus, our attention to one place, then everything else is not being attended to. So we're practicing on developing our capacity to direct our attention where we deem relevant in this moment, instead of getting dragged unconsciously object to object. And by placing our attention on an experience that can be relaxing, it's kind of a win-win. We can settle the mud while developing our concentration, our equanimity. So we've been directing our attention outwards to an object of our experience. And we're now going to practice a bit of what is sometimes called a turn back or look back instruction, a self inquiry. So we've been pointing the light out, the light of awareness on a particular object. And now we're going to turn it back upon itself. Who or what is aware? We're going to look directly at the true self or source. And if you find something you can describe with the word, keep looking. Because if you find something, then that still implies that there's an observer observing a thing. Even though these practices are known as self-inquiry, we're not actually looking for knowledge. We're not looking to have a concept or word even. We are attempting to experience directly the true self, source, that which is unchanging, has no quality, has no beginning or end. It's impersonal. And what usually obscures the experience of this essence or ground of our being is our attention and belief in our thoughts. All thoughts, every concept, every idea of who or what you are, every desire, every complaint, thoughts of the past or the future, even of the present. I took note of a quote, a Ramana Maharshi quote, which I thought very beautifully captured how we can shift our relationship, how we should shift our relationship to our thoughts. And he says, whatever notion may arise, never let it live or grow, but to turn it that very instant, firm and stern, back to its source and merge it there. This is robust, intense detachment. But the detachment isn't a cold detachment. It's a returning back to the heart. It's just a detachment from the mind, that surface conceptual mind. So we can experience that peace, that bliss that's spoken of. Our natural state. I'm going to read that one more time. Whatever notion may arise, never let it live or grow, but to turn it that very instant, firm and stern, back to its source and merge it there. This is robust, intense detachment. So we're surrendering our attention, our infatuation, our beliefs in these thoughts. We're surrendering them to love, to the heart. To that love or consciousness that is our true nature. And it is an abandoning. We need to willingly let go, abandon the false, limited imposter of the self. That impermanent, constantly changing happening that is the self. Thoughts, emotions, body sensations, sights, sounds, tastes, constant activity, personality, ego, that's fed and driven by our conditioning. That will always happen. It's not about getting rid or stopping anything. It's about turning the attention away from all of those objects of experience, or seeing beyond. Every experience, every thought, idea, judgment, every word to that boundless, open, space from which everything that is known arises, and back to which everything that is known returns. And every teaching, all of the words we share, even the most beautiful, skillful teachings from these masters, they only take us so far. They kind of lead us to this point because they're words, concepts, thoughts that we need to let go of. So they're very helpful to guide us closer and closer to the point when we let go of everything. So we can have a lived experience. Not an understanding. Not knowledge. And there are no exceptions. We stop believing all thoughts. And I love the mind's yeah buts. My mind does it all the time. Yeah, but there's this problem I need to solve. It's a real issue. I need to do something. I need to sort it out and weigh the pros and cons and make a plan. It all has to go. It's all activity of this illusory self. And we need to have faith, that trusting that we can let go of engagement, that we can stop needing to know to fix. And we may begin to experience that the unfolding continues. Divine will is what's running the show. We can take our hands off of the illusory steering wheel. This idea we have any control, that we need to get our little person hands in there. Complete surrender of the self. Willingness to be no one, no thing. And if there's confusion in the mind, thoughts are arising, then we let those go. Just like Ramana said, that very instant we see the attention looking to land on a particular object of thought, you let it go. You relax the attention away from any particular thought or experience. Not push it away. Just relax. Just like a hand would open and let a stone drop. And sometimes those stones, we hold on to them. They're almost irresistible. It's like they're almost like super glued in our hand. Of course. So over time, over a lifetime, we practice letting go. And it hopefully becomes easier. We can let go more deeply. Even with the intense experiences, thoughts, emotions. So we practice with great compassion for that habit of personness can be very stubborn and persistent. That conditioning's been running a long time, and we've been believing, for most of us anyway, that that is me. So for some time, it may seem like we're swimming upstream to challenge that sense, that false sense of self.